Rain hit the city in sharp drops. The team had left the docks only hours ago, but it felt like days. The encrypted drive lay on a steel table inside their hideout, a damp and narrow space beneath an old subway line. Pipes hissed above their heads. The smell of oil and rust filled the air. Raven sat in silence. His eyes stayed on the drive, its small green light blinking like a heartbeat. Pixel typed quietly beside him, fingers moving fast, the glow of her screen lighting her face. Blaze cleaned a pistol with a cloth. Knox checked the radio signals. Vira and Sable packed supplies and kept glancing toward the exit, as if the walls could close in at any second. No one spoke until Pixel leaned back. "The code is unlike anything I have seen," she said. "Whoever built this wanted to hide something important." Raven nodded. "Can you break it?" "I can try," Pixel answered. "But I need time." Time was what they did not have. Police scanners buzzed. The news channels were already calling them the Vault Shadows. Surveillance footage from the museum had been released. They were now the most wanted team in the city. Blaze stood near the window and lifted a corner of the old curtain. "2 cars parked across the street," he said. "Unmarked. We have eyes on us." Raven moved to the window. "We move at dawn," he said. "Pack light." Knox switched off the radios. "We can use the southern tunnels to reach the old metro yard. It connects to the industrial zone." "Good," Raven replied. "We will regroup there." Pixel pulled out her small toolkit. "I will copy the drive. I want a backup in case something happens." Vera crossed her arms. "Something always happens," she said softly. Sable gave her a look. "We made it out before. We will again." Raven's voice stayed calm. "We focus on what we control, nothing else." The night stretched long. The rain slowed to a steady whisper. The team worked in silence, each lost in thought. Pixel's screen flashed. "Got something?" she said. Lines of numbers filled the monitor. "It is an access key, but it leads to an offline network." Raven stepped closer. "Meaning?" "It means the real data is not on this drive," Pixel said. "This is only a map. The location it points to is inside the city's financial core." Knox frowned. "That is corporate territory. Cameras everywhere, guards. We will never get close." Raven looked at the map on the screen. "We will find a way. We always do." Blaze checked his watch. 3 hours until dawn. We should sleep in shifts." The team agreed, but no one really slept. The sound of the trains above kept them awake. Every vibration felt like a threat. When morning came, the sky was gray. Raven stood first, scanning the tunnels. "Move out," he said. They left through the maintenance door and followed Knox through the narrow corridors. Steam rose from broken pipes. The tunnels smelled of damp metal. At the exit ladder, Blaze went first, then Sable, then Vera. Raven waited until everyone was out before climbing up. They emerged in an alley near the river. The air was cold. Knox guided them to a van hidden under a tarp. "Stolen but clean," he said. They climbed inside. Pixel opened her laptop again. "I traced the signal. The access key connects to a server under a company called Malgaria Industries." Sable turned from the front seat. "Never heard of it." "Because it does not exist," Pixel said. "It is a front." Raven stared at the screen. The name brought a memory from years ago. Malgaria had once been part of a government contract. Secret operations. He had seen the name in files he was never supposed to read. "Drive," Raven said. The van rolled through the streets, blending with traffic. The rain returned, washing the glass with thin gray lines. Inside, no one spoke for a while. Blaze watched the mirrors. Vera cleaned her knife. Knox kept his hand near the ignition. Pixel finally broke the silence. "If Malgaria is tied to the government, this is bigger than we thought. That vault was not about money." Raven nodded slowly. "It was about information." They reached the outskirts of the financial core. Tall buildings rose like walls. Cameras turned in slow circles. Knox parked near an underground delivery ramp. "We cannot walk in through the front," he said. Raven studied the structure. We go in from below. Find an old access point. Blaze smiled faintly. That is my kind of work. They slipped through a maintenance door and entered a maze of corridors. The hum of electricity surrounded them. The air was thick and warm. Pixel led the way, tracing the signal on her tablet. The server room is 2 floors down, she whispered. Vera checked the corners with her flashlight. Feels too easy, she said. Sable kept close behind her. Stay sharp. They moved through the narrow space until they reached a sealed gate. Blaze pulled out a small case and knelt. Give me 1 minute, he said. He worked quickly, connecting wires, twisting circuits. The gate clicked open. Inside was a small room filled with machines and blinking lights. The hum grew louder. Pixel approached the central console. This is it, she said. The Malgaria server. Raven stood behind her. Copy everything, then wipe the logs. She connected her device. Numbers rolled across the screen. Files opened one by one. Blaze kept his eyes on the hall. Knox watched the exit. A noise echoed from above. Heavy footsteps. Company, Blaze whispered. Raven drew his gun. How many? Blaze listened. 3, maybe 4. Pixel kept typing. Almost done. The door burst open. 2 armed guards entered. Shots fired. The team dove for cover. Bullets hit the walls, sparks flew. Blaze fired back. Knox threw a smoke grenade. The room filled with haze. Pixel shouted, "Transfer complete." "Move," Raven ordered. They ran through the smoke. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The tunnels shook as they sprinted down the corridor. Sable led them through a side passage. This way. They burst into a service tunnel. The air was cold and wet. Behind them, voices shouted orders. The sound of boots grew closer. Raven turned and fired a short burst. Keep moving. They reached a junction. Knox pointed left. Exit to the river. Pixel clutched the laptop tight. The files are huge. It will take time to read them. Do it when we are safe, Raven said. They climbed up a rusted ladder and pushed open a grate. The river stretched wide and dark below. Blaze looked at the drop. We jump? Raven nodded. We jump. One by one, they leapt into the cold water. The current carried them downstream, away from the lights and sirens. They reached the far bank and crawled up the slope. The city lights glowed in the distance. Vera fell to her knees, coughing. We cannot keep running like this. Raven pulled her up. We are not running. We are surviving. Pixel opened the laptop again, shielding it from the rain. She scrolled through the copied files. Raven, she said. Her voice shook. This is not about a vault or money. These files mention something called Project Eden, and your name is on it. The team froze. Raven's eyes darkened. Show me. The screen reflected in his gaze. Classified documents, maps, names. A record of operations under his command from years ago. Blaze stepped back. You worked for them. I did once, Raven said quietly. But I left. Or I thought I did. Sable looked around nervously. If your name is there, they will come for all of us. Knox closed the laptop. Then we go dark. No signals, no contacts. Raven looked out at the river. The rain fell harder now. We finish what we started. Whatever Project Eden is, it ends with us. The team stood in silence. The night wrapped around them, cold and uncertain. In the distance, a helicopter searchlight swept across the sky. Raven turned to the team. We move before dawn. Next stop, the old city archives. Pixel met his eyes. What is there? Answers, Raven said. The sound of the river grew louder, carrying the weight of secrets they did not yet understand. The hunt for truth had begun.